Good morning, boys and girls, and we begin a new week again today and a new pack as well. So if you haven't had a chance to pick up your pack yet from school, it's still there ready and waiting for you when you get a chance to collect it. All right, so let's begin by looking through our pack. So you will see in your pack you have Maths and Literacy for week 7 and week 8. And then you have some World Around Us, Grow in Love for 2 weeks, and some fun activities, okay? Now, the fun activities are entirely optional. You can do them if you want to. You don't have to. You can share them with brothers and sisters if you want. So maybe you like Among Us and you're not really into unicorns, which are in this book as well. So you could share some of these with brothers and sisters. There's a joke page in there as well. And there is an arts and crafts page. And then on the very last page is a page that I don't want you to show to Mummy. Okay, so if Mummy's there, tell her she's not allowed to look at the back page. Okay, that's for you to use later. All right. So we'll put this aside for now. We'll put our Grow in Love aside. We'll use that later in the week. And our World Around Us, we'll put it aside for later in the week. And our week 8 work, we can of course put aside for next week. So let's have a look then at week 7. So in your week 7 booklet then you have your spellings as always, accompanied by sounds in focus as always. Then we have our literacy booklet here and our time booklet. This is for Maths this week, okay? So let's begin by looking at our spellings. And this week in our spellings we are looking at the O sound. O, made using one L or two L's together. Now they both make the same sound. When we have two letters together that make one sound, you call that a digraph. So we've got the single L sound, O, and the digraph, O. And each of your words this week will either have the L or the double L. So let's have a look at this week's words and you can repeat them after me. Self, felt, milk, help, fold, also, all, shell, yellow, I'll, you'll, we'll. Those are short for I will, you will, we will. So as we said, the two ways of making our O sound are L or LL. And you have to go through each word and underline the O sound. So for self, you're going to be underlining one L, and for felt and so on. For till, you're going to be underlining two L's. For heel, you'll also underline two L's. So just go through each word and underline the O sound. Your sound box, as you know, asks you to find another way that the sound is made in your list words, but the sound isn't made in any other ways this week apart from L and LL, so you can keep this box blank. Question 2, then you'll see a row of ladybirds with some of our list words written on their backs. Now, this question is asking you to count the sounds in each word. Now, we've done this quite a few times before, and usually when we counted the sounds, we drew a dot each time for each sound. But this time, you have to draw one leg on the ladybird for each sound you hear. Okay? So, for example, until. T, I, O. How many legs would I draw on that ladybird? T, I, O. I would draw 5 legs on that ladybird for 5 sounds. Now, as we looked at before, it's not just about counting the letters. Now, this word just happens to have the same amount of letters as sounds, but that's not always the case, okay? Now, I'm going to go through the other words and I'm going to sound them out. You count the sounds and draw the legs. Also, o, s, o. Shall, sh, a, o. Yellow, y, e, o, o. Self, s, e, o, f. Only, o, n, o, e. One leg for each sound you hear. And that would be enough sounds in focus for today. So let's move on to our literacy booklet. Whoops, but before that, did we do the date? I don't think we did the date. We need to do the date. Let's do the date. And we are into a new month as well. Monday, the 1st of March, 2021. Monday, the 1st of March, 2021. And you can pause that if you need to copy the date. And now we can move on to our literacy, which you have 2 pages of today. And we are looking at adjectives. And adjectives are describing words. And adjectives are what help to make our writing much more interesting. And there are thousands and thousands of adjectives. Words like big, tall, small, green, red, happy, sad. There are lots and lots of words that you can use to describe anything and everything. And they make our writing much more interesting. And today you are going to be choosing words from this list to describe these pictures, okay? So let's look at the words that you have to choose. These are all adjectives. We have full, short, empty, happy, big, tall, hot, cold, sad, and little. And each time you write one of these words into these little spaces, okay? So for example, let's look at the first one. The box is, so that looks very like our snack box in school. The box is, what word could we use? Oh, what about that first one? Full. The box is full. I think that's a good one. We certainly couldn't say the box is empty or happy or cold. So I think full would be the best choice for that first word. Let's look through the other sentences and then you can choose an adjective to go into the boxes. The elephant is. The pencil is. The giraffe is. The glass is. The sun is. And then over the page, the boy is. The snow is. The girl is. The hamster is. So put the correct adjective in the correct box. And write them in pencil just in case you change your mind and want to rub one out and move it to somewhere else. Today for our maths, and all week in fact for our maths, we are going to be looking at time. And it would be very useful if you have one in the house to have a ruler handy to do this, because you'll be drawing hands on clocks and things like that this week. So if you have a ruler, it would be very useful this week. Now you have 2 pages on time to do each day. Every day you'll get a page on analog time, which is the clock faces, and digital time, which is the numbers, okay? And you have to draw the hands correctly on the clock faces. Now, I don't think this will be that difficult for you. I think you'll be very good at it. If you have a ruler, as I say, your hands might just look a little bit neater. Here I have done the first one, 2 o'clock. So when we are doing o'clock, the big hand, the minute hand, always points to the 12. So when it's o'clock, it always points to the 12, and the hour hand points to whatever hour it is. So with 2 o'clock here, you'll see we had the big hand at 12 for o'clock and the little one at 2 for 2 o'clock. This one would have the big hand at 12 and the little hand pointing to, I think you know. So this is my own clock from my kitchen, and this is the one that helps me not to be late for work in the mornings. And you can see here I have set it for 5 o'clock at the minute. Actually, it's just a little bit after 5. Can you see how that minute hand has moved slightly? And you can also see there are 3 hands in this clock. Now the little gold one, it's moving very fast, isn't it? It counts 60 seconds, which is a minute, and it goes round and round the clock. So it goes from here and it counts right round to 60 seconds, which is 1 full minute. And it's called the second hand because it counts the seconds. This one is called the minute hand. It counts the minute. So you can see actually there, it's just 1 minute after 5 o'clock now. That's probably because I've been talking for too long. So at o'clock, this hand, as you know, was pointing directly up at the top of the 12 there for o'clock. And the little hand, the smaller hand, is pointing to 5 for 5 o'clock. So you write all your o'clock times here on your analog clocks, and then you move on to your digital clocks, which means numbers. Now, each digital time must have 4 numbers. So if you were writing 2 o'clock, you would write your 2 and your 00, but you need to fill this space as well. So you can just put a 0 at the start of the 2. 0200, 2 o'clock. Same with 5 o'clock, 0500. Now when you come to, for example, 12 o'clock, well, you already have 2 numbers to put in here, don't you? The 1 and the 2. So 1200. You wouldn't have to put a 0 in front of it because you have 4 numbers. All right. So we're going to write all of our digital times. And you'll see that they're related to our analog times. So 2 o'clock is our first one here. 2 o'clock is our first one there. And so on. Okay, so we're going to work on those 2 pages for today. And as always, boys and girls, carry on with your accelerated reading. You should have received a new book list by now. And as you know, if you want any more books, just send me a message and I'll do my best to get you some more titles as quickly as I can. And carry on with Sumdog as well. It's a great resource for us to have. So we want to continue to be Sumdog superstars. So go on to Sumdog anytime you have a bit of free time. All right. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye bye.